And welcome back once again. We are continuing with this Bible connected playlist that you will be able to go through, and we'll add to the story of how everything connects in the Bible. And as this is God equals reality, we continue to bring you God in reality. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is now the Tower of Babel, but it says, but in reverse.
But in reverse.
4. Babel, but in reverse. It's a story you probably know. In the beginning, all humanity spoke a single language and shared one goal: greatness. They said to one another, "Let's build a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens. Then we'll make a name for ourselves, and we won't be scattered across the face of the earth." Then God came down. He saw their pride, their perfectly unified rebellion, and his judgment was almost poetic. He did something both subtle and devastating. Let us confuse their language there, so no one understands what their neighbor is saying. Picture the scene. People were shouting, but no one understood. The project ground to a halt. Unity shattered into chaos and mistrust, and the result was exactly what they hoped to avoid. They were scattered over the whole earth. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Have you ever wondered why God used languages specifically as judgment? Why not something else? Saving that move for a masterstroke centuries later, keep that question in mind. Let's travel to Jerusalem thousands of years later. Jesus' disciples are hiding in a room, frozen with fear and with no clear plan. Their leader had just been crucified. They were alone. Outside, the city was teeming with people. This wasn't an ordinary day, it was the Feast of Pentecost. Jews from every corner of the known world, Parthians, Medes, Elamites, people from Mesopotamia, Egypt and Rome were there. An astonishing international mix. Suddenly, a roar like a hurricane-force wind filled the whole house. Then they saw the impossible. Tongues like fire that separated and settled on each one of them. In that moment, the unthinkable happened. They were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other languages as the Spirit enabled them to speak. Hold on a second. Isn't this the very opposite of what happened at Babel? Why was the Holy Spirit, who is God, now reversing the judgment of the tower? The crowd, drawn by the sound, gathered in confusion. But their confusion was nothing like Babel's. They didn't hear a jumble of meaningless noise. They heard clarity. The Parthian heard in Parthian, the Mede in Median, the Egyptian in his own language. They listened to these humble Galileans proclaim the wonders of God, and each one understood them perfectly in his native language. How is it that we hear them, each of us, in our own native tongue? We hear them declaring the wonders of God in our languages. That day, about 3,000 people came to faith. Do you see God's masterstroke now? At Babel, humanity used a single language to seek its own glory, and God's response was to multiply the languages, to judge their pride, and scatter them. At Pentecost, God used those many languages for a radically different purpose, to glorify Christ, uniting the scattered nations through a single message of salvation.
Once again, the connection. I like how this one focused on the difference in the Old Testament, referring to it as man's pride, and how they were so focused on themselves and not wanting to do what God said and not wanting to scatter. They wanted to be together. That God said, you know what? You're not even going to understand each other.
So, for context, in Genesis, he had demanded them to be fruitful, multiply, have dominion over the earth, and subdue it. That means he wanted them to take over and spread over the whole earth. They then decided they did not want to be scattered. For fear we be scattered, we make a name for ourselves here. Which that's significant too, because it's only the name of God. Just like when God sends Moses, whoever you gain authority based on who sent you, who you're coming to represent. So they want to create a name of authority for themselves. And instead of doing and being obedient to God, to keep spreading. So that's was a lot of time God has the punishment fit the crime. Like, I told you to do this, so now I'm gonna force you to go ahead and do it in a different way that's going to be worse than what I asked you to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just for context on that. And then after the crucifixion is the part you need to stick a pin into and make you understand that this is when he then undoes the Tower of Babel. Because people were supposed to spread into all the earth, but still be unified. But instead, they try to use their unification to upseat God.
They went up. They wanted to go up instead of out.
Exactly. Instead of spread, which is another thing, he gives us gift to give. Like he gave me my gift for my auntie, my auntie's gift for me, and our gift for you, and so on and so forth. That is the picture that God created. And same thing that Satan tried to do. Satan had it all in him and decided to go up. Say, I want to go higher than God. The people said, we don't want to scatter. We want to go up. We want to go higher. Well, we actually want to come to God. And possibly, since we are not listening to him, we actually do want to go higher than him. You know, so the punishment fits the crime. He spreads them. We are all made one in the crucifixion of Christ, and then he chooses Christ's disciples, or Christ chooses his own disciples, as Christ is also God, chooses his own disciples to then bestow the language of all languages brought back into one.
So that there is a clear understanding amongst everyone.
And that's why I said stick a pin in this. He says exactly after the crucifixion that this happened. Nate, that's interesting. Wait a minute. I just realized something. He said after the crucifixion, but he didn't say after the resurrection. So this is in between the crucifixion and the resurrection. So the crucifixion happened on Friday. This happened on Saturday. The resurrection happened on Sunday. He brought the languages back together before the resurrection to show the power of God in the disciples before the resurrection. Because they were sad about the crucifixion in this moment. I never connected that.
Yeah, it's amazing how connected everything is on purpose and all for a reason. Yes, something else.
But that's also something I want to clarify as well. So this is where people are cool talking. The way that it's represented, that they say that, you know, they believe holy and sanctified, if you speak in tongues, it's not anywhere I've seen represented in the Bible that you start speaking a language that no one understands, but maybe you.
Exactly.
And
that's why it says there has to be an interpreter present. Because who are you talking to?
Because
who are you edifying?
Yeah, this story edifies God, and it's clear communication, not gibberish or babble, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to go ahead and leave off.
Yeah.
And hopefully catch you guys next time. We covered another part of how the Bible is connected and adding some context to this already so awesome breakdown and video.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The reverse of the Tower of Babel.
Yes.
Good one.
Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe again to help it reach more people. And again, as I already said, we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching.